Our next house is another modernist-inspired home. It's 4 hours north of Miami, up the freeway to Sarasota. And there's plenty to see on the way.
It's quite tropical.
I'm sorry, but there's an osprey there with a fish. Can you see it?
Yes, look at it.
Oh my God, oh my God!
That's mind-blowing.
Focus, Caroline, focus. We're looking for a house owned by a couple who retired to Sarasota and wanted to build something different. In a conservative neighbourhood with traditional houses, this home has courted controversy despite having roots in an architectural style that is now widely accepted.
I want to know about modernism.
The modernist idea was that we needed to invent a language that was true to the spirit of the age, and it was forward-looking.
That's the house, that's the house.
You know what we could do?
This is it, this is it.
And you couldn't really miss it. Spencer House certainly stands out as striking, with razor-sharp lines, crisp shadows and stark white walls, unapologetic against the blue Florida sky.
We've been invited to explore before the owners meet us.
Once your eyes have adjusted to the sheer expanse of white, the first thing to notice is the graphic precision of the walls and the grid of small square openings that puncture the entrance courtyard and the rest of the house with light. What a beautiful place to come into. I feel like I'm in a painting, but I don't think I could be anywhere else in the world but Florida. These white walls, this blue sky. This type of modernism makes perfect sense here because it works.
Set on this prominent corner plot, the architect's challenge was to build a home that, whilst filled with light, would also be private.
The entrance courtyard leads straight into an open-plan, double-height living, dining and kitchen area. Adjacent is a covered courtyard and pool around which there are 3 bedrooms and a pantry. Through the centre of the building is a tower that contains a mezzanine sitting room. And above is a glass-walled studio with surrounding terraces. Capping it all is an outside bar on the roof. With its almost monumental exterior, it's possible to see how this place may have raised a few eyebrows. But inside, it's
Wow, I'm right in. I mean, there's no sense of a hallway and those traditional European spaces that buffer you from the street. It's just so informal right away.
Hello.
Oh, hello.
Look what I found.
You found the informality.
It's completely informal. It's fantastic. I walked off the street and into the pool without stopping. It's extraordinary. I know a lot of it's got to do with the climate, and of course it's much easier when you have the bluest of blue skies. But there's something really kind of relaxing about not having those sort of little tucked-off rooms where there's secrecy and quiet times. Actually here, everyone's sort of living the same moment of their lives at the same time.
That's why a lot of people yearn to live in big open spaces, because you can see everybody all the time. You know what everyone's doing.
What I really love about the view from here, Piers, is those little glass windows. They're sort of almost church-like, aren't they?
And actually it feels quite church-like, because churches, of course, historically had lots of small windows that brought light in from above, and you never had a direct view out, because, of course, you were always referred to an internal landscape. And this has that similar quality. It's a beautiful quality light.
Be quiet.
In fact, I'm just...
Some homes were just meant to be enjoyed.
Oh, this is nice, look. Sort of prehistoric fossils as bathroom tiles. It's all to do with the water and the sea and nature. An outdoor shower too. So I have a choice now.
2/3 of the house is on the ground floor and has everything you could need for living. Upstairs are more private spaces to escape to. On the mezzanine, a living room, and above that, a glass studio where the owner builds model ships. What's really noticeable is that as you rise through the central tower, views become more open as privacy becomes less of an issue. These wonderful apertures are a key aspect of Spencer House's architecture.
The pioneering owners are Beth and Gary Spencer.
Their architect was the award-winning Guy Peterson, whose work is heavily influenced by a form of modernism that grew out of Sarasota.
Sarasota has a rich architectural history, doesn't it?
It does. Sarasota was on the map nationally for doing these amazing modernist buildings in the 40s and 50s and 60s. It was later dubbed the Sarasota School of Architecture as a movement. And as an architect, being from Sarasota, I've always said I wasn't part of the Sarasota School because they were a generation ahead of me, but it was part of me growing up.
Did you feel sort of kindred spirits? Did you have the same ideas? I mean, what did you ask him for?
We didn't really ask him for anything. We sat down and gave him a list of all the homes we'd lived in, right? All the features we liked about them, all the features we didn't like about them.
His big challenge was I needed privacy and Beth needed light.
There are more than 200 small squares that let light into the house and the courtyards.
And for you, the light was really important.
Very important, but part of the appeal was the lot faces south. So it gets a lot of really great sun. So those squares in that wall let the south sun in.
And then at night, it emits light and has a whole different persona. Today, I think that the community is starting to recognize the value of modern architecture, and that it does play a part in our history.
What's it like to live here?
Oh, it's like being in your own resort.
Seriously?
Yeah, every day is just a joy.
Every day?
Yeah, every day there's a new favorite thing.
And if he's happy, I'm happy.
There are so many things in this house to admire. I love the fossilized fish that seem to have made their way from the bathroom to the kitchen.
I've got to ask you about these fish. Are these real fossils?
They're real fossils that come from a well-known site in Wyoming. They're 53 million years old. And there are herring and perch.
Personal touches fill this home with joy, but never distract from the architecture.
Le Corbusier, who created this shade of blue, was the founding father of modernism, and it's another nod to this home's architectural roots. It's a style that is often perceived as hard-edged, even austere. But with their architect, Gary and Beth have achieved a softened and more inviting take on it.
Oh, you're up here?
Great, great. You managed to get some bins.
I did.
Fantastic. Oh, you'll be able to see them now. Look, up there, a pair of ospreys. They're so beautiful. Look at her.
Gosh, there's lots to see from up here.
There really is. It's incredible.
I think that's some 1950s Paul Rudolph, early modernist work over there, actually.
Oh, there they go.